Greetings, Commanders, Cerebrates, and Executors. In this episode, we're going to talk about commands on the command card, which is this button in the bottom right. Specifically, we're going to talk about the 5 major commands that almost every unit in the game have. These commands are move, stop, attack, control, and hold position. For all of the commands on the command card, the general rule is you activate the command by left-clicking on it, and then for most of the commands, your mouse cursor becomes this yellow circle and you need to select a target for the command. You left-click again to select a target for the command, and the command gets executed. So let's start with move. I just demonstrated the move command. If you left-click on the move command and then left-click somewhere on the ground, the unit you have selected heads to that position. Select multiple units, use the move command on the ground, and all the units will head to that position. Very straightforward. Now, there is another use of the move command, and that is you can target the move command on other things. If I target the move command on this hatchery, which is a building, then my unit walks over to the hatchery and then stops. That's not particularly interesting, but if I use the move command and I target on another unit, then this unit will not just head to the location of the other unit I targeted, it will actually follow that unit around. So I told this Hydralisk to move command on this Hydralisk. And now if I move the second Hydralisk around, the one that I targeted the move command on, you can see my first Hydralisk is actually following it. That move command, unlike when I use the move command on a building, the move command on a unit does not expire when the unit you commanded actually reaches its target. It continues to follow its target around. And it will continue to do this forever as long as its target still exists. The only thing that breaks this move command is if the target unit dies or if the unit who is following is given a new order. Notice the move command here is highlighted in white, all the other commands are yellow. Whereas on this Hydralisk who's not doing anything, the stop command is highlighted in white. This Hydralisk is stopped right now, but this Hydralisk is still following its move command to chase down the unit that I targeted it on. Now, something that is important that I want to demonstrate is while a unit is on this move command, it will not attack enemies. I'm just going to bring these 2 Hydralisks near these Marines over here so that you can see this. Watch the second Hydralisk, the one who's following. Watch the Hydralisk who's following, and you'll see this Hydralisk never tries to attack the enemies that are attacking it. It's only concerned with following the unit I told it to follow. It does nothing else. So that is the move command. But the move command has a big problem, which we've already partly alluded to. When you use the move command to move a unit past enemies, it will not stop and attack those enemies. If I grab this Hydralisk and I use the move command, left-click move, left-click on the ground, the Hydralisk will run right past these enemy Marines and will completely ignore them. It doesn't try to attack them, it doesn't try to defend itself or fight back in any way. This isn't good. We want our units to fight. And the attack command is how we do that. The attack command, like the move command, we left-click on the button and then we select a location. Now, I can just select any random piece of ground with this Hydralisk, and the Hydralisk will just head there. It looks the same as the move command when I'm using the attack command and targeting on the ground. However, if I use the attack command and target anything that has a health bar, anything that can be attacked and damaged, then my Hydralisk will head to that location and will attack the thing I targeted. So, if I attack this hatchery belongs to me, but using the attack command, I can command my Hydralisk to attack it. I can command my Hydralisk to attack this Zergling over here. And the Zergling will die. Well, will get shot at. It's going to die pretty quickly because it doesn't have much health. So you can use the attack command to attack your own things if you want to destroy them for some reason. And if we use the attack command on an enemy unit, then of course our Hydralisk will walk to that location and will target the enemy that we told it to attack, which was this Marine. You can see it's attacking this Marine, but it didn't have enough damage to kill the Marines that were dealing with it. However, when we take a unit and we instruct that unit to attack a specific enemy, such as this Marine here, it will head directly for the unit we targeted and will ignore any other enemies on the way. This Hydralisk is going to run right past these 4 Marines here and completely ignore them. It's not going to look at them, it's not going to attack them, it's not going to defend itself, because it's heading for the 1 Marine we targeted over here. Which means it's going to get killed pretty easily. That's still not very good for a combat situation where we want to be doing well against the enemy army. Ideally, we want our units to automatically fight any enemies they find, and we can do that by doing something we've already done before. We can use the attack command, but we can target the attack command on the ground instead of on a specific enemy. If I use the attack command and I left-click here on the ground behind these Marines, my Hydralisks will head to the position I targeted, but they will fight any enemies they find along the way. You can see they fought and killed all 4 of those Marines. That's the kind of thing we want our armies to be doing. So using the attack command and targeting on the ground is generally the way you want to issue your commands to get your units to fight. But if you want to kill a specific enemy unit, if it's really important for one enemy unit to die first, you can do that. You can target your attack command on that one enemy, and your units will ignore everything else. If you need to kill your own things, you can target your attack command on your own buildings, on your own units, and your units will kill them. Now, next up, let's talk about the stop command. The stop command is pretty simple, it just causes a unit to stop. You might notice these Hydralisks who are standing still, they all have the stop command highlighted in white. They are currently stopped. They're not doing anything. But we can also use the stop command in the middle of another command to effectively cancel that other command. If I issue a move command over here, notice that I'm issuing a move command on the creep, and then I left-click the stop command now, the Hydralisks stop immediately. I've cancelled that move command, I told the Hydralisks to stop right away. Same deal with an attack command. If I issue an attack command on the other side of these Marines, and then, as the Hydralisks are heading towards the Marines, I issue a stop command, the Hydralisks stop moving. So you can use the stop command to just get your units to stop doing whatever they're doing. That could be useful if, for instance, you'd accidentally used an attack command on the back Marine, and you wanted your Hydralisks to fight all the Marines. Just issue stop, and now your Hydralisks will start acquiring targets and looking for enemies to fight of their own accord. Because they're no longer following that attack command to target one specific enemy over everything else. Next up, let's talk about hold position. To really demonstrate this properly, I need to show you that when your units get near enemies, they will naturally try to reach and fight those enemies of their own accord. If I tell this Zergling to move to this location right here, he'll stop and then he'll notice the enemies and he'll run over and start attacking them. That Zergling moved of its own accord without me giving it an instruction to move. And that movement was because there were enemies nearby that it found and it was trying to engage them in combat. If it's really important that my unit be near an enemy but not move from its position, we can use the hold position command for that. Like the stop command, we activate hold position by just left-clicking on it. And notice the hold position button is white and the stop position, the stop button, is now yellow. This Hydralisk is no longer obeying the stop command, it's now obeying the hold position command. But again, I can issue the stop command by left-clicking on stop, or I can move, or I can attack or something to get the Hydralisk to stop doing hold position. The whole point of hold position is just that the unit will never move of its own accord under any circumstances. You have to give it a command for it to move again. So if I move my Zergling to this position, and I'm going to click hold position when he gets there, the Zergling, it happened pretty quickly, so I'll do it again with a few more Zerglings, but you'll see these Zerglings will just stand where I tell them to stand, and will not move, they will not engage the Marines, even if the Marines are attacking them. Hold position. And the Zerglings just stand still, but if I click stop, the Zergling is free and will start heading towards the Marines to attack again. The final command that we're going to talk about in this video is the patrol command. The patrol command is this one. Now, patrol is interesting. So, if I issue a patrol command, notice I'm going to issue the patrol command right at the top of this bit of ruin on the ground. Left-click. My Hydralisk will move to this position, But then when the Hydralisk gets there, it will turn around and move back to where it was when I issued the command. And then it'll turn around, head back to the patrol target, and then it'll head back to its original position, and it'll keep going back and forth in an infinite loop. Patrol command means that the unit will now patrol in between its original point and the new point you've targeted. So where it is now and where you tell it to patrol to. These Hydralisks are right over here. If I click patrol and I click over here, then now the Hydralisks will patrol back and forth between here and here as long as I leave them following the patrol command. I can give them other commands to make them do different things, and they will stop patrolling. But while they're under the influence of the patrol command, they will just head back and forth between their original position and the position I targeted indefinitely. Something that is nice about the patrol command is that your units will attack enemies they find along the way in the process of patrolling. So we have a ramp here, we have a ramp here. My Hydralisk is starting at this ramp. I'm going to issue a patrol command. Actually, this isn't going to work. There's 4 Marines here. I need more than 2 Hydralisks to win that fight. Let's get these Hydralisks involved as well. So I can issue a patrol command by left-clicking on the patrol button and then left-clicking on the ground. My Hydralisks will start patrolling between this spot and this spot, back and forth and back and forth. But if they find enemies on the way, as they did this time, they will fight those enemies. Same as if I used attack and clicked on the ground. But then once they finish fighting those enemies, they're going to continue on, they'll reach the point I targeted, and they'll run back to their original position. Now, notice if you're patrolling a lot of units at once, they're going to get kind of spread out. They won't necessarily stay together. In fact, they probably won't stay together because they'll have some trouble with pathing. And when you patrol these units, they're going to get in each other's way. The ability of the units to figure out what to do on their own isn't very good. That's just a difficulty in StarCraft. Units aren't great at deciding where to go and what to do of their own accord. But this is what patrol will do. It can potentially be useful if you want a unit to just be watching an area that's too big for it to stand in one place and watch. If you wanted to move back and forth and watch the place. But for the most part, patrol isn't that useful for very many different things. Let me also point out that if you select a unit and patrol on one of your own units, then this Zergling is going to head to this location, and it's going to head back. But if I move this Zergling that I patrolled on, then the patrolling Zergling just moves back and forth between those 2 positions. When you invoke the patrol command on one of your own units, you're effectively just targeting a location. It doesn't actually behave differently. You don't patrol back and forth between your original position and wherever the unit moves to, or anything like that. So, that is the move command, the stop command, the attack command, the patrol command, and the hold position command. The 5 major commands in StarCraft. Let me just point out one more useful thing, and that is right-clicking. You might have noticed, while I am making a point of introducing you to these commands by left-clicking on the button and then left-clicking on the ground if I have to, sometimes in this very video, I just clicked on the ground directly, and that was in fact a right-click on the ground, and my unit headed to that location, without my mouse coming anywhere near the bottom right. When you right-click in StarCraft, the game guesses what you want to do based on what you're clicking on and what you have selected right now. Right-click is usually a shortcut sort of thing. If you have a unit selected and you right-click on the ground, then that is effectively issuing a move command. Watch as I right-click here, the Zergling now has the move command highlighted. If you have a unit selected and you right-click on an enemy, then that is treated as an attack command on that enemy. So the Zergling is going to head to this Marine and will start attacking the Marine, though it won't live. Well, it would have attacked the Marine if it had gotten to the Marine, but there were too many Marines in that group. So you can use right-click to quickly issue move and attack commands on specific places for move commands or specific enemies for attack commands. I'm just going to get these 2 Hydralisks out of that patrol rotation. And if I right-click on one of my own units instead of an enemy unit, that issues a move command which causes this Hydralisk to follow the other Hydralisk. As we saw earlier, if I issue a move command on one of my own units, then the move commanded unit, the unit that's following the move command, will follow its target around. Same deal if I right-click. So right-clicking on one of your own units or on the ground issues a move command. Right-clicking on an enemy unit issues an attack command. Let's just do that attack command by right-clicking on this Marine with these two Hydralisks. And we'll see they target this Marine first. So those are the 5 major commands that you'll be using on almost every unit in the game.